Welcome to DCL Talk Show. We are almost into the last week of July, and we had almost close to 20 games this week, and some are you know one-sided game, and some are really lived up to their expectation. They played to the standards of DCL. And without taking too much time, I'll quickly get into the show with the first question to our analysts. Abhi and Imti both are here. The first question to both of you is, in recent times, aggression towards empires is increasing a lot, and how do we control that as a captain to the captains of DCL? What is a suggestion you guys can give? Okay, because we are all educated and we are not perfect, so I don't think it's fair to go. To show aggression towards the empires. That's what my opinion. Well, I'll start with Abhi. Welcome to the show, Abhi, and your thoughts.
Thank you, Jagan. With regard to the introduction, welcome to all the listeners, and I have Imti to walk through all the games. Fabulous week for DCL cricket with so many games played. Another week where I almost got most of my predictions, last week's predictions right. Jagan, you need to come up with some kind of a prize money now. Teams playing or responding just the way I thought they are. We have a lot of games to be discussed. A few of the one-sided games, like Jagan said, will be kept short this week considering the time crunch. So coming to your question, Jagan, with regard to the aggression towards the empire, I do understand. Being a part of the captain's group some time back, and I do understand the aggression or the momentum of the game, where it takes the player away from the player's emotions take up so much that you don't care about what you're saying to the empire or what you're saying to the aggression. But having said that, and having played so much of cricket in our life, it is our responsibility. It is the captain's responsibility to respect the fact that a player from a different team or a person with a cricketing knowledge actually took out some time to come and officiate the game. So the empires deserve that respect they are supposed to be given, no matter what kind of calls they are. Even at international level, it happens that few of the calls are wrong. They go against each of the side, but that doesn't mean that doesn't give any right to the playing teams to go and shout against the empire. The empire's call will be final. Might not go well against one team. It always goes against the other team, but it is what it is. Empires have to be respected, and it's the responsibility of the captains to take care of that.
Okay, now I'll go to Imti. Welcome to the show, Imti, and your thoughts.
Thanks, Jagan, and I'd like to welcome all our listeners to yet another episode of DCL Radio, DCL Talk Show. Again, to answer this topic or to put my thoughts on this one, again, being on both sides, I do understand the context of this topic. Again, like Abhi mentioned it very well, it's definitely up to the team captains to kind of control from their team's perspective. But again, the umpires are taking the time coming out and officiating a game. Again, the decisions are taken on the field, so we should leave it to the cricketing, I would say sporting spirit at that point. But again, even from the player's perspective, I don't see that it is something intentional. It just happens in the flow of the game. And like Abhi mentioned, emotions play a huge part in a crucial game. So again, physical aggression is something totally different, which I would say that is absolutely no within the DCL community, and I've not seen much of that, but here and there few games. But I think the verbal aggression is something that I think captains need to take responsibility and show respect to the umpires, because obviously, like already mentioned, like every decision, one team will be in favor and one team will be it will go against the other team. So just take it in the spirit of the game, and hopefully we have good umpires and we should sometimes trust the umpire's call and then just go with the game. So that's my take on it.
Okay, very well said. And I once again I request to all, it's a request to all the captains in DCL. Please be respectful to the umpires because they have taken out 4 hours from their lives just to come and do umpiring to make sure that a good side and showing displeasure is different from aggression. So please make a line there, and this being polite is the best way in any sport. Okay, with that I'll go to the
well said, Jagan. Just wanted to add one more point. I think that is very important point to draw the line where displeasure versus aggression or going against the spirit of the game. So just wanted to add that point. And also I would take a moment to appreciate all the teams that play in good spirit and they really respect the umpires. I've seen a lot of teams. I want to appreciate them and bring that fact also. So there are two sides of the coin, but I see most of the DCL teams are well behaved and they take umpirization in the good spirit. So
yeah, very well said. And with that, I'll quickly get into the first game of the night. AR, so today what we are going to do is, I have separated these games into two groups. One is fought well on the field, and the other set is one-sided games. So first we will go through the good games, and then we will discuss a little bit about one-sided games. And with that, I'll go. Tonight's first game is AR Panthers versus MI Rangers. Abhi, your thoughts?
Yeah, thank you, Jagan. A low-scoring thriller played at Woodhaven. This game, MI Rangers selecting to bowl, got what they would have been hoping, a wicket of the first ball, and they sent Phantoms right onto their back foot. Again, Phantoms again losing their second wicket in the third over. So after this, Phantom tried to make a comeback with some small partnerships. Sandeep P and Rajesh contributing to their team score, but losing wickets regularly was hurting them. 33 for 4 at innings break could have actually been a concerning factor for them. But post break, Sandeep Guduru comes up with a plan. He sticks around till the end of the innings and having a good partnership with Ujjwal Bandaru, another player whom I played with when Ujjwal was part of Indus. I feel they have recovered well after the break from 33 for 4 to 88 for 6. Not giving away too many wickets and accelerating well in the end, close to 30 runs in their last 5 overs. Coming to MI Rangers bowling, they started off well by picking up 4 quick wickets, but struggled to get a wicket in the second half of their innings. They didn't leak out too many runs between 13 to 12, a segment which was crucial for Phantoms, but they could have restricted Phantoms for a much lower score, given the fact that they're a slightly better team compared to Phantoms. So I would give that segment away to Phantoms for not giving up a wicket and continuing to score that. Conceding 30 runs of their last 5 overs and the extras should be taken negative things from this game for the MI Rangers bowling. Abhilash Reddy leading with the bowling with 2 wickets and good economy rate, while the other MI bowlers were all bagging 1 wicket there with a decent average. MI Rangers were in a similar trouble when they came into bat, losing 2 quick wickets within 5 overs, but the difference was the runs scored at a higher rate by the MI Ranger batsmen. They scored half their runs by the innings break, although they lost 4 wickets. Venkatesh Muthaneni and Sidhu Ragala scoring vital runs for the team with 16 and 24 respectively, and with just 40 odd runs more, MI Rangers needed someone to just stick there for their next 20 odd runs to get them closer to that winning spot. Shravan Gaud playing the captain's knock of 14 of 27, and Sandeep Ragala still holding his wicket till the end. Well played Sandeep for his 24 of 43 with just 1 boundary, and ensuring that their team is actually taken to the end. Phantoms could have actually turned this game around had it not been for the extras they considered. 21 extras is almost 30% of the runs they scored. They bowled huge overs in between, which helped MI Rangers with their scoreboard moving regularly. Not sure if there was a drop chances of Sandeep or Shravan's, but they had they broken the partnership or had they considered lesser extras, the game could have gone deep. But too many could haves or would haves. A strong win for MI Rangers. Phantom needs to work on their bowling.
The next game of the night is Dark Horses versus SSK. What a game this is. After the first half, I thought Dark Horses are they are going to win their first game of the season. And your thoughts, Imti?
Yes, Jagan. I think this was Dark Horse's second game of the weekend, and I think they put up a very good show in this one. Unfortunately, they couldn't end up on the winning side, but I think this was their strongest performance of the season so far, to be honest. So, if you go into details of the game, I think SSK won the toss and elected to bowl, having that confidence in their batting lineup, looks like. But I think Dark Horses, after a slow start or a quick wickets falling, they showed up some good resilience in the middle order, and I think their middle order showed a lot of courage in this game. Rahul Bandari coming up with 56 from 42 balls, six sixers in that innings. Pankaj Vats, their mainstay in the batting, as always, scoring 37 runs, and Abhijit, well supported by Abhijit for 29 runs. And all these scores coming at almost run a ball. So this kind of gave them the momentum, and that helped the score to way past 150. They played out all the 25 overs and made sure that they got a good score on the board. If you look at SSK's bowling, I think main pick up the bowlers Kalyan and Ramesh Babu picking 3 wickets each. And again, like with this ball, I think these are decent performances in the bowling department. But at the halfway, like Jagan mentioned, this was definitely a game that was in Dark Horse's favor, I would say, after the first half. But then SSK, they elected to bowl first, so they had that confidence in the batting. So I think even though they had a bad start with the first 2 wickets, I think the main partnership was the third wicket partnership between Vikas and Yuvraj. And what a way they responded here! Like that partnership of almost 100 plus runs, almost gave the game away to SSK. Vikas scoring 60 runs from 58 balls, Yuvraj 45 runs from 60 balls. I think this was a beauty of a partnership, I would say. It's heartwarming to see partnerships like this, which kind of is not just boom boom, but I think there was a lot of ones and twos in this innings, and it was a well constructed innings, I would say, based on the scorecard. And that totally took the game away from Dark Horses. But then I think some quick wickets after that partnership was broken again made this game very interesting, and I took the game almost into the last over. And SSK just held their nerve and crossed the line in the last over with 3 balls to spare. I think this was definitely a thriller, last over thriller. And Dark Horses bowling, I think Ramesh was the pick of the bowlers with 5 wickets. Not much support from the other bowlers. Maybe that partnership totally killed the game for Dark Horses, but I think they just needed some luck in the end to cross the line. Unfortunately, like I said, this was a close game. Dark Horses had the best chance of winning it, but somehow luck is not favoring them, and they couldn't cross the line. So hard luck, Dark Horses.
Kudos to the SSK because they always surprise our league, especially in recent. Yeah,
definitely chasing 150 and winning is a very great achievement, I would say. So congrats, SSK.
Yes. The next game of the night is Detroit Bulls versus Hitman. Abhi.
Thank you, Jagan. Another game where I did predict Hitman to win after their, the previous week. They were rolling high. Very happy to see them on the winning side and also moving up the table. Going into the game, Bulls winning the toss and electing to bat were put to pressure straight away by losing their first wicket in the first over of the game again, happening yet again in the second game. Captain of Hitman, Arun, taking up the ball and leading from the front. Bulls walking into the dugout with 37 for 5 by innings after Shashank Gowda's 2-wicket maiden over in the 12th over. A plan probably which came along well for Hitman. So Shashank being given the ball at 12th over and he picks up 2 wickets and also bowls a maiden. Bulls could have been in a much tougher spot had it not been for Sandeep Akare's innings of 19 of 29 with a 6 and well supported by Soju Abraham. Probably he batted up after the innings break as well. I believe Sandeep's innings was crucial because that actually helped in moving the scorecard for the Bulls team. a small contributing partnership from Gino, who's an excellent all-round player, but unfortunately he got out early. The second half of Bulls batting didn't have much to say. After a brief 16-run partnership, they kept losing wickets till the end. They held their wickets well to the game deep, but they didn't get those runs they were actually looking for. I like the bowling figures of Hitman. Arun, Chetan starting off well, bowling economical, picking 2 wickets each. Shashank coming back strong in his second over with that crucial 12th over, 2 wickets and a maiden that I just mentioned. Wonder why he never got a third over in the game after the break. Aditya and Philip again, just conceding 19 runs in their 7 overs bowled between them. I feel the plan came along well. The bowling plan came along well for Hitman, conceding 15 extras is a bit too much again when you have bowled so well through the innings. But Hitman did very well to restrict Bulls to a low score. Bulls put again Hitman right back onto the pressures, picking a wicket again straight away in their first half of their innings break. 2 wickets coming in early succession, and then another 3 coming briefly after a 20-run partnership between Nirahan and then Niranjan, I believe, and Santosh, supported by Shashank. With 29 for 5 and needing 46 runs, I believe Hitman have responded well while not surrendering too much to the pressure put by the Bulls bowling side. Arun again leading with a bat this time, scoring 20 runs and seeing his team through to the win. 12th to 18th overs were very crucial in this game. Hitman was almost won that segment of the game by not giving away wickets and a crucial 30-run partnership between Arun and Santosh. And I'm surprised Gino bowled so deep in the game. Could have been a plan that they came out with, because Gino's 19th and 21st overs were very crucial for the Bulls, as it brought them back right into the game, breaking that crucial partnership of 30 and then picking up another 2 wickets in this 21st over. Nikhil's 10 runs over shifted the momentum back to Hitman, who went on to finish the game. Arun didn't have any much support from his lower order batsmen, still managed to win this game. Bulls bowling, Nikhil started off well, but the 10 runs over was a bit too costly for him and the team. All the other Bulls bowlers were economical, not giving away too many runs. Gino was pick of the bowlers again, coming in deep, bowling his 5, picking up 3 wickets. A very close game, could have gone either ways, either Hitman or Bulls, but Hitman somehow managed to win this game and get those crucial points. Tough luck to Tanuj and Bulls team. I hope they come back strong in the next game.
Okay, the next game of the night is what a game it is. Sterling Strikers versus Canton 11. 2 brothers fighting it out there on the field and appreciating each other and the umpires. Okay, it's a great display of 2 great teams. Your thoughts, Imti?
Yes, absolutely, Jagan. When I saw that messages in the groups, that was like really a good sporting spirit that both the teams showed, appreciating each other after the game. And if you were talking about Dark Horses versus SK as a thriller, which went into the last over, what can I say about this game? This absolutely went to the last ball for the result. So again, holding their nerve and Canton 11 coming up victorious in this game is really wonderful to watch. I would say congratulations Canton 11 just before I start the analysis of the game. But this, just looking at the scorecard, it gives me the thrills that this went to the last ball, and what a victory for Canton 11. So if you go into the details of the game, Sterling Strikers, they won the toss, elected to bat, and they definitely wanted to put up a good score, knowing the history between the teams. I think this was a good contest up their sleeve, and then they just wanted to put up a good show with the bat, and they went in confident, had a good decent start, slow start, but then I think they started losing wickets at one end. Raza Ali, their premium batsman, actually their premium player in both departments, batting and bowling. I think Raza Ali carried the bat throughout the innings, but he didn't get much support through their middle order. Raza Ali ended up at 39, not out, but then only till the end, where Syed Mujtaba got those lusty blows, like five sixers, and he contributed 37 to the score. And apart from Raza Ali and Syed Mujtaba, like there's not much support from the other batsmen. And then 17 extras, totaling the total coming up to 126. And also they did not play the entire 25 overs. They missed out 2 balls, which could have made the difference in the end. Again, if you think about the context of the result here. So they ended up at 126, which at the halfway must have been looking really good. with the way Sterling Strikers have always come back in the games, even in the previous couple of games, I think Sterling Strikers were struggling with their batting, but they somehow escaped and they kind of went on to win the games. I think that is what they were uh, trying or hoping so that would happen in this game too. But again, 126 is a par score for their bowling lineup. I think Sterling Strikers definitely had a good chance. If we look at the bowling, for Canton 11, I think it was a decent effort. Wickets being shared by their bowlers, Mohammad Ramzi, Junaid, Javed, and they had a good outing with the ball. Mohammad Ramzi, I think, had a fantastic game. When we look at the batting scorecard, that is when you know the impact he had on this game. So going into the chase, I think Canton 11 also wanted to have a steady start, lay the foundation, and then they do have some good hitters down the order who can take the game away. And I think that was their plan when they went in, and I think they responded well in the initial stages. It was a steady start, I would say, where they were at like 30 runs at the end of 8-9 overs, and they were cruising along well. But then I think also the wickets were falling on the other end. So Hari was their mainstay in the batting, scoring 27 runs in the middle order, and then once it came down to the end, I think it was the last 3 overs that really changed the game. Because if you look at up until 22nd over, I think Sterling Strikers had this game in their bag. So they were at 92 for 7 at the end of 22 overs. So you're needing 36, 35 runs in the last 3 overs. I would definitely bet my money on the bowling team at that point. But then what a way that Canton 11 lower order has responded in the last 3 overs, scoring 35 runs in the last 3 overs. That is a phenomenal achievement, I would say. All the credit goes to Mohammad Ramzi and Mohammad Muqaddas, who stayed not out in the end, scoring those important 12 and 17 runs respectively. I think going down to the last ball, getting that big hit and winning the game is a special achievement, I would say. No matter what format of game you're playing, I think that was a fantastic game. And going down to the last ball, I think, and winning the game, I think Canton 11 deserved this game as much as anybody else. So congratulations, Canton 11, and I think this will give them a lot of confidence going into the next games.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that one team has to lose, but fantastic.
Yeah, again, taking nothing away from Sterling, they have put up a lot of good performances throughout. I think this is their first loss, if I am correct. Not sure, but yeah. So again, it's just a one-off game, and then you lose this close game. I think there's nothing to panic as yet. So you're doing good, and I'm sure you will be performing good in the next game. So hard luck.
Okay, the next game of the night is Blasters versus Kings 11. Abhi.
Yeah, thank you, Jagan. Again, for the Sterling Strikers, it's their first loss, Imti, and there's a saying, if you want to lose it to your brothers or friends or family. So I think Sterling Strikers have done that because they always share some kind of a good rapport with Canton 11. Anyway, coming back to the Blasters and Kings 11, straightforward, convincing win for the Blasters here. Kings 11 winning the toss and putting Blasters to bat. I would say it's a questionable decision because Woodhaven grounds are good batting pitches and they're flat tracks. Blasters, I still feel for the Blasters they're struggling to find their right opening combo. This time Hari Parankusham, the captain, opening this time, but falling out in the second over, followed by Zishan. I like the fact that Hari sent two of their best hitters on the top, which helped in moving the scoreboard. No boundaries between Deepak and Ravi Teja, but some quick runs scored there. Ravi falling just before the break and putting Blasters in somewhat decent spot with less runs on the board and losing 3-4 wickets. The second half of Blasters batting is just Shanmugh being all over the Kings 11 bowling. He started off slow after Deepak's departure, but just went on with blazing guns. 62 runs of just 47 balls with 4 sixes and a boundary, scoring at 131 strike rate is just what Blasters needed. Justice done to their team name finally. Mahesh and Sid's role was probably just to give strike to Shan and then enjoy from the non-striker's view. From 45 for 5 after Deepak's departure to 123 for 7 is just a fabulous way to boost the score and to add, the Blasters scored 55 runs in their last 5 overs. Well played, Shan, and a fabulous innings. We all know he can play this kind of innings, which he has also done in the past when he was part of Pokri's team. Kings 11 bowled well in their first half to the early of the second half, but they couldn't do much when one man is playing such killer of an innings. Sai Karodi being pick of the bowlers with 4 wickets, it's a fabulous effort. Despite given the fact that Blasters are scoring so many runs, but very high economical rate again. Probably falling prey to the Shan's innings. Sunil and Abhilash bowled well in their 5-over spells. Not many wickets, but decent economy rate. Kings 11, who are well formidable team to chase down such large scores, started off well with a quick 12 and then losing 2 quick wickets. Deepak Uniyal and Purna stabilized the innings facing the very strong Blasters bowling lineup. 18 of 27 for Deepak and 21 of 40 for Purna. Things were looking good until Satya comes in and then starts breaking those crucial 30-odd run partnership, and then Deepak picking up another, sending Kings 11 with 46 for 4 on their board by innings break. There was no support to Purna from Kings 11 middle order, which was cleaned up by Naresh and my fellow analyst here, Imti, who bowled a double wicket maiden over. Too bad he missed his hat-trick when he came out to bowl again. With 7 and 8 down, the run rate going higher, there's nothing much that Kings 11 could do. Finally succumb to Blasters bowling. After a brief fight from Pawan, who actually did give out a decent fight to the Blasters bowling, but eventually the team collapsed. Blasters, we all know they're a strong bowling unit. Naresh being the pick of the bowlers with wickets, and Satya with respect to economy. 5 wickets among them. Deepak, as usual, doing his job. Ravi Teja not seen his bowling, could be because of the injury. And then Imti coming in to bowl late in the innings, probably wanted to give chance to the other bowlers. A good win for Blasters after their previous loss to much anticipated game with Legends. Will boost their run rate, and Kings 11 are playing well, getting those wins, but they're also chasing high, but at the same time they're not moving much up the table. So that's a bit concerning factor for Kings 11. But again, too early to see. It's just halfway done. So let's see how it goes for them.
Okay, the next game of the night is Sterling Strikers versus Micah DHM. Imti.
Yeah, going into this game, I think this was the original scheduled game for this week, and I was just going through the scorecard. I just wanted a clarification. Why was this a 20-over game, Jagan? Any idea?
I was told they started it late.
Okay.
Because
I was a little confused when I saw it was a 20-over game. Not sure if the committee was aware of it. So
I saw it as a 20 overs, and I immediately asked in our group, captain group, and
okay,
it's because of some wet field. I think they had to. They have to start a little late. So, and I think it is played in NCP. I don't know where.
Okay.
But yeah, that is the reason.
Yeah, that's fair. I just wasn't sure if it was a scorecard glitch or if it was just actually a 20-over game. So then going into the details, I think Sterling Strikers, as usual, were favorites to start off against Micah, definitely. But it was actually a little closer than what was expected from Sterling Strikers. Sterling Strikers being a strong team, when they went into this game, they were unbeaten. And they definitely had the confidence high. They should have, I think, scored more than 98 is what I think against bowling line of Micah, which is inexperienced in my opinion. So, but nonetheless, I think Micah responded well also in this game. Tried to make an upset, but they couldn't cross the finish line, I think. So going to the details, Sterling Strikers batting first. I think they had a decent outing with the batting, a good start. A couple of quick wickets, and then again their middle order coming to the rescue. Ali Abbas scoring 30 runs, Ahsan Ansari, the captain, 22 runs, and then Mohammad-Abdul also chipping in 11 runs in the middle order, and then 11 extras, adding the total to 98. So if you look at the context, I think 20 overs, 98 is a good score, but I thought with Micah's bowling lineup, I think they could have gone another 15, 20 runs extra to put that pressure. If you look at Micah's bowling, I think the pick of the bowlers being Piyush and Dinesh picking 3 wickets each, and then well supported by Pratap Machoram. And again, it's a 20-over game. Not sure why they had to use 7 bowlers, so maybe experimenting or looking for breakthroughs all the time. So Uh, Again, like maybe they did not let the bowler settle too much, so that could also be another reason here. So, but again, I think 98 is a good score. A little under par, I would think, for Sterling Striker's batting lineup. But going into the second half, I think they were definitely fancying the chances to win this game easily. But then I thought Micah DHM, I think they came out well with confidence and they started the chase very well. Their top three putting in some fight back. Sankirtan scoring 20 runs, Dinesh scoring 16 runs on the top of the order. That might have put some pressure on the Sterling Strikers bowling, but I think they have the experience and they have the bowling lineup that could make the breakthroughs, and that's what happened in this game. Like the middle order really not showing any resistance. Again, Rajesh, their captain, stayed for a while, scoring some 10 runs, and then Tejesh were also putting in some resistance, but then that was not enough in the end. They did play out all the 20 overs, but I think they fell short by 12, 13 runs in the end, which is a bigger difference in the context of the game. But I thought 85 coming closer to 85, they could have put some more effort and tried to come closer and win this game. But I think Sterling Strikers had their bowling lineup that could tackle this or defend this score, and good win Sterling Strikers in the end. So.
Okay, the next game also goes to you, Blasters versus Legend. Before you talk about this, there's a message for you and to the captain of Blasters from Sandeep Gopu. I would say Imtiaz should be up the order for Blasters. Not sure why he is batting in lower order. In fact, he can open for Blasters and indeed will help their team. That's the message from Sandeep Gopu. And with that, I'll go to Imti. Blasters.
I hope our captain is listening and we make those adjustments. But I thought there was one more game, Jagan Brownstone versus Spartans before this one.
I moved that to
okay.
Later. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So going into this game, Blasters versus Legends, I think this was one of the most anticipated games of the week, and it did live up to the expectations. But alas, we ended up on the losing side, so that was a little disheartening. But I think it was a close game. The scorecard might not show that it was that close, but it was definitely a close contest on the field, I would say. Like again, Abhi mentioned previously when he was talking about Blasters versus Kings 11. Blasters, we are struggling and trying to find our form in the batting lineup. So that again showed up in this game. After the KRCC game, we had a lot of pressure on batting to perform. But again, we had quick wickets up the order and we started to falter. So I think this game, if you go into the details, right, Legends won the toss and again taking the cue from the KRCC game put us into bat. And I think they had the opening that they wanted and they got quick wickets. So at one point, we were 4 wickets down for 7 runs in the 6th over. So that put a lot of pressure on the batting lineup. And luckily, we had Hari playing this game, his first game of the season, and he responded well, bailing us out, I would say, scoring 37 runs from 45 balls with 3 sixes. And then he was well supported for a bit by Siddharth, even though he did not score much, but he stayed there and tried to stop the wickets at one end. And then down the order, Deepak supporting Hari with 16 runs of 26 balls. And then after that, the innings kind of stabilized, but we did not get that big finish in the end. And I think that's why we were restricted to 82. And again, we did not play the entire 25 overs, which could have made another difference of 10 odd runs, which could have helped us in the bowling, I would say. So we ended up at 82. Again, I would like to mention the fact that Legends bowling is very accurate. And if you see, they only bowled 4 extras. That is a testament to their bowling lineup. And when you have people like Praveen, Harish Yalamanchali, Guru Reddy, and Sai Pratap in the bowling lineup, you can expect that. And if you look at the bowling, pick of bowlers, Harish definitely bowling 4.2 overs, 3 wickets, 5 runs, and then well supported by Guru Reddy, 3 wickets, and then Praveen also chipping in with 2 wickets. I think it was a very, very well executed bowling performance from Legends, and at the halfway, chasing down 83, I think they definitely were the favorites at halfway. But then, if you look at the Blasters and the talk in the community that Blasters is a good bowling unit. So we did have some confidence after the start that we got to the batting that we ended up at 82. So this was a good score. definitely maybe below par, but we definitely had the bowling lineup to restrict Legends, and I think we started off well, picking up initial wickets. The first three wickets fell in quick succession, but again, the mainstays of Legends throughout the season, Gautam, GK, and then Harish Yilmanchali, they came and had that resistance to the wickets, and also they were scoring at a good pace, which never let the pressure build onto them, and they were scoring at will. To be frank, in that period of time, and they put up a good partnership of 36 runs from the second over to the 10th over, and I think the game was slowly slipping away. But then again, Blasters bowling lineup kind of got some crucial breakthroughs, and then this game kind of ebbed and flowed between Legends and Blasters in different phases of the game. At one point it was always Legends, at one point it was Blasters, and then it was like kind of ebb and flow. The flow was it was shifting between teams. But then I think the way the middle order performed, the lower order did not have much pressure in the Legends chase, and that really helped them in the end because they comfortably chased down the score with 4 overs to spare. I think a special mention to Guru Reddy, who came down the order, played the patient game. He just waited out the premium bowlers and then took the advantage of loose balls and scored some quick runs in the end to also make sure that they got the bonus point. So I think this was a very, very good, well executed chase. It could have gone either way, but I think I should give the credit to the Legends batting that they executed this chase very well. So congratulations, Legends, and I think they are on a roll and not lost a game, and I hope that will stay in the league games for them. So congratulations, Legends, and good luck.
There's a correction sent by Satish, Legends captain. And correction: Blasters won the toss and chose to bat. That's the correction he gave. And there's a message from Dynamites captain Vijay. He said Micah game started late because there was water on the pitch. Okay, with that I'll go to the next game: UCA versus Safaris. UCA team always, excites me, but with that statement I'll go to Abhi.
Yeah, that's right, Jagan. Rightly said. I mean, I predicted UCA to win this game. So this was one of the few games where I didn't get my prediction right. Safaris winning the toss and then putting UCA to bat. UCA did respond well with their opening stand, scoring 35 at a pretty good run rate, 5 per over, but lost 4 wickets between 8th and 9th over. Now that's definitely a collapse you didn't see coming. 4 straight ducks sent the UCA team right on the back foot after a fabulous start. Shiva scoring 22 of 26 and at a good strike rate and well supported by Srinivasan. UCA again, lost couple more wickets by the innings break time with 40 for 6. That's more than half their team down. From here, I believe they did decently well with the lower middle order and the lower order contributing to the score of 71. 12 from Sendil and then 13 from Tanikavela, a couple of notable performances. I would say it's a collapse from UCA batting again, sort of well recovered by them to actually put up at least a competing total there. Safaris were right on the money from 8th over onwards, from 35 for 0 to 40 for 6 is a complete turnaround. A double wicket made in by Rahul, followed by another double wicket made in by Mohammad, and then another 2 wickets from Jayant Reddy. They just missed a hat-trick of double wicket maiden overs. Jayant conceding 1 run in that third double wicket. But what a way to come back into the game. Rizwan, Rahul, Jayant and Mohammad all picking up 2 wickets each, and with just 7 extras bowled in the 25-over spell is an exceptional effort by Safaris bowling unit. Everything went well their way. When they got that particular kind of a start where they picked 6 wickets in the 3 overs, they never left behind there. Safaris had a small and a tricky total to chase when they came into bat. It was all up to the bowling team of the UCA to pull it back, but that wasn't the case here. Safaris were in a hurry to finish the game early. They scored a quick 14 before losing out Rizwan. And Rahul, what an innings from him from 55 of just 35 balls with 3 sixes and then 4 boundaries, scoring at a whooping 160 strike rate. You don't see that much often in DCL. except for the fact that this year a lot of people are actually scoring at a very high strike rate. That's game set match for Safaris. An excellent innings, and congratulations to Rahul. Had a good day with the ball, even better day with the bat. UCA bowling unit didn't have much to say. Just one wicket picked by Srinivasan and every other bowler going for runs. Like I said, an excellent win for Safaris and a tough day for UCA.
Okay, the next game of the night is Troy Hawks versus Indus Thunders. Imti.
I thought you.
Before
Yeah,
you
I
start,
thought.
I
Yeah.
would like to say this thing. SSK, Troy Hawks, Dynamites. These are the three teams. It's very exciting teams to watch. Okay, at least for this season, they are playing really well. And yeah.
Yes, I definitely echo that, Jagan. So SSK and I think Troy Hawks this season and Dynamites have showed some good performances, and to be honest, they have been consistent throughout. It's not just a one game wonder or something that they're showing. They have been consistent throughout the game, and that's heartwarming to see teams coming together and performing, which are not regarded as the top teams of the league. So this is good and good for the league, and also will improve the league standards for sure. So. Going into this game, I thought maybe Abhi would have had a good summary, but I can chip in and then maybe Abhi can add to this game. So I was just going through the scorecard. I'm not sure if Indus Thunders had availability issues here. I don't see some of the players that I would have expected in this game. Obviously, Troy Hawks coming up with confidence, winning good games in the previous weeks. I thought Indus Thunders would go all guns blazing in this game. Just going into the details, Troy Hawks batting first, put up a good score, 99 runs. I thought against Indus Thunders bowling lineup is a very good achievement. Thanks to Natraj, who scored 22 runs, and then Kaushik and Murli Palivela supporting. Also, the opening batsman Vijay Karthik putting up 27 runs against Vijay and their bowling lineup of Praveen Mangera and Sandeep Chetla. I think that was a good performance. 99 runs scoring against Indus Thunders is a good achievement. If you look at the bowling lineup, I think the pick of the wickets was Chetan, and also I'm a little surprised to see 8 bowlers being used in this game. So again, that could be a strategy. Again, maybe Abhi can shed some light onto that. But I thought 99 was a par score for this game, considering Troy Hawks are coming off from very good wins in the previous games, and they do have some good bowling lineup. Going into the chase, I think Indus Thunders definitely fancied their chances. But kind of fell short. They had a bad start, lost some quick wickets in the top. Then Captain Sandeep Gopu coming in and playing a captain's knock and to stop the wickets and also scoring some runs. Well supported by Srikanth. They put up a partnership of around 24 runs. But I think they kept losing wickets at regular intervals, which took the game away from them again, Ravi Ganta showing some resistance in the middle order, but again, not really being helped by the other batsmen. I think Chetan, Praveen, Raj, Segal, they should have stepped up. I think they have played a lot of games and they do have that experience that they should have chased down this one. Again, if you look at, they only played 22 overs, so they still had time to chase down that score. I think it was just the pressure getting to them. And if you look at the bowling, Chaitanya pick up the wickets, picking 4 wickets for 12 runs, and then well supported by their opening bowlers Vijay and Kaushik picking 3 and 2 wickets each. So overall, a very good game for Troy Hawks. Somehow, Indus Thunders, after the loss of Patriots, I think couldn't bounce back in this game. Again, it's not alarm situation for them, but I think definitely something to work out with the availability. I think so for Indus Thunders. Anything you want to add, Abhi, here?
Yeah, the fact that the availability, that was the clash between the Mishka games and the Indus games, and few of the players from the Indus Thunders are actually playing in Mishka. So Dinesh, Manoj, and that's why they couldn't come in. And the second fact is Gopu was very concerned about the fact that he had 3 main strike bowlers at the beginning, then Chetan, Vijay, and Mangera, and so his point. That's what I felt. I haven't spoken to him. I don't like disturbing him in the game, but he had this thought of who should I bowl that 4th and 5th bowler. So that's why there were so many bowlers used, and he got injured while he was bowling after picking up a wicket. He twisted his knee a bit, but fortunately it was not serious and he came back well. The batting, like you very well said, losing wickets is actually hurting us a lot. The losing between that 7th to probably 13th, 14th overs. We're not probably, at least for now, at least until the game of the Troy Hawks, we didn't capitalize it very well. We did the same mistake against Patriots too. We were getting the runs, but batsmen were going for the hitting, and then there's no partnerships there, so that costed us the game.
Okay.
But again, Troy Hawks, I don't want to take anything away from them. They have capitalized it very well with their strong bowling in it. They were very decent with their bowling. They had their field set for Verma. They knew how to bowl to Verma, and they pitched one out, and Verma went for the shot, and they got him out on the first ball. So they had a plan. They came up very well with the plan, and they executed pretty well.
Okay. The next game of the night is Kings 11 versus KRCC, and needing 5 runs. Jesse at the wicket. Matchman Jesse at the wicket, and 9 out of 10 times it is KRCC game. 9 out of 10 times. Okay, and Kings ended up winning this one. Okay, another good team in the league.
Right, go ahead, Chicken.
Yeah, go ahead, Abhi.
Yeah, so before I come to this game, I did say Kings 11 will win this, didn't I? Last week, I didn't agree with Pradeep sir. I didn't agree with you. I didn't agree with Imti, and probably I don't know if KK was there. Yeah, KK was there too. I said Kings 11 will beat KRCC, and I'll come back to the point later why I thought so. And if the users are actually, the listeners are actually watching the DCL primetime show, Viju thought he was in a jail put by Maulik Patel because of the Kings 11 winning team, and he was expecting Legends will be the team to get him out of the jail, beating King KRCC. But Kings 11 actually got him the key, and then I hope he did not grow that beard and mustache, if you know what I mean. But going into the details of the game, Kings 11 put themselves to bat after winning the toss, had a decent start before their fall of first wicket. They consistently had their run rate maintained between 4 and 5, although they kept losing wickets. They had enough runs on board to go with by innings break, but lost a bit too many wickets. Fourth one coming right in the 12th over. 11 and 15 from Arjun and Prashant gave them that steady start that they were looking for at the top, but the top, middle, and middle order taken out too easily by KRCC bowling, except for Sai and Sunil, who gave a brief fight. Kings 11 kept losing wickets, like I said, regularly after the break, which again slowed down their innings further in the run rate. Deepak's 19 helped the team score reach 96 runs. I would say this is a match-winning innings by Deepak, because they were 73 for 9 by 20th over, and they pulled it off to score at least 96 on board by 25th over. I somehow felt KRCC should have got that wicket earlier, but for the kind of a team they are. KRCC bowling, surprised to see Nalin, who is an excellent bowler for them, go for so many runs. Sahesh also going a bit expensive, but Satish, Vihar, and Jesse applied the strong breaks to Kings 11 batting post-break, after the break. Very economical in their respective spells, 6 wickets amongst them, most of them coming between the 12th to 20th over, where the Kings 11 collapsed, batting completely collapsed. 13 extras is a bit too high for their quality of a bowling unit KRCC is. Now, I predicted Kings 11 because, I thought if KRCC's middle order is exposed to a tough situation, then the opponent has a chance to take the game away. And that's exactly what happened in this game. Why I say this is because when I was umpiring against KRCC versus Blasters, Blasters' story was completely different because they didn't have anything going right in their fielding that day. There were at least 12 catches dropped, but imagine if those catches were taken, KRCC would have been in a very deep trouble. And luckily they didn't get exposed. And that day, Jesse and Satish Gaba actually did play very good innings on that day. But today, Satish just got out in the first ball duck, I believe he got. So this is exactly what happened, right? KRCC does have a strong top order. They started off very well, although they lost Prajwal a bit early. There was a good partnership between Prasad and Sahesh, 16 of 26 and 19 of 27 respectively. KRCC were in a comfortable, cozy spot by innings break. Half the runs scored with just 2 wickets gone. They had 8 more wickets to play with. Kings 11 had to pull their sleeves up to change the course of the game. Deepak and Nikhil's 13th and 14th over was their chance. 3 wickets lost. KRCC was suddenly 5 down. Nikhil almost got his hat trick, just missed it by a dot ball in the 20th over that he came back. KRCC on the other hand, kept the scoreboard moving, which is probably the thing that worked out until the 20th over. Now, what happened here is just the match pressure, I would say. Probably if they were at the ground, we would have known it much better. With 20 runs just needed in 5 overs, with 5 more wickets in hand, KRCC, although they score runs, they kept losing wickets every over. And with every wicket, the pressure kept mounting on the players. Satish gone for a duck, like I mentioned. Abhishek and Jasmeet's crucial 9 didn't even take them home. Now I had a chance to play with Sunil. Sunil, who was part of Bowl's team in 2019. He bowls 2 maiden wicket overs in 22nd and 24th over to pull the game back to the Kings 11. His bowling figures look like 5-2, 4-2, I believe. 5 overs, 2 maidens, 4 runs, 2 wickets. And on the other side, KRCC still had Jasmeet on the crease, like Jagan mentioned. Everyone knows what he's capable of. With 4 runs required by the end of 24th over, I thought KRCC would pull it off. This was the game for KRCC to be winning, although they just had one wicket in hand. But only to be surprised that Jesse gets out on the first ball of 25th over. Crazy game, might have been a treat to watch it in the ground. An excellent win against a strong team for Kings 11. KRCC will take this loss very hard, and I'm sure Yogesh has already put on his thinking cap on, and I'm sure they'll come back very strong in the coming games. An excellent contest between 2 teams.
Okay, the next game of the night is Dynamites versus Thunderbolts. Imti.
Yeah, going into this game, I think Dynamites had a very good outing here. I was expecting a little bit of more fight from Thunderbolts, considering how well the team has performed so far in the league. But I think if you just look at the result of the game, I think it was a good win for Dynamites, and Thunderbolts, I think, underperformed in this game, to be honest. If you look at the batting lineup, Dynamites batting first put up a score of 107. Again, a very good par score, 100 plus, always a good score. The main reason for that 100 runs is their opening batsman Amrit Yadav, who gave a good start, 24 runs, and then well supported by Satish. It's good to see Satish Sankara back in the top of the order. In the first initial games, I think he was coming down the order, so that really helps their batting lineup and gives a good foundation for them. So well supported by Saurabh in the middle order with 18 runs, and down the order by Anil Bilimoria, who scored 17 runs, quick 17 runs, and that helped them get to that 107. Thunderbolts, on the other hand, I think they kind of missed the trick. Riaz Karim was the pick of the bowlers who picked 3 wickets in his 5 overs for 6 runs. But if you look at the other bowlers, it was like they shared the wickets between them, but I don't see a lot of pressure being put on the other end. Riaz Karim having that economy rate, he was plugging the runs, but then the other support was not there, I think. And that made that scoring a little easy for Dynamites. If you go into the second half, Thunderbolts obviously had some good games in the past, so they would be confident going into chase this 107. But then, like we have been talking about Dynamites, they have a very good, well-rounded, balanced team this year, and they're looking very good, to be honest. And their bowling lineup has been improving game by game. Thunderbolts started off the innings cautiously, a slow start, wanted to keep wickets and maybe accelerate in the end. But again, wickets falling at regular intervals. If I look at the fall of the wickets, like up until the 5th over, they did not lose a wicket. But then after that, they started losing wickets. They had some partnership for a few overs in the between. But then again, they lost wickets in bunches, is what I feel. And if you look at the bowling scorecard for Dynamites, like almost everybody chipping in with wickets, except for Arun and Suresh. But again, I think this is a testament to what I was just talking about earlier. Like if you have support from all the bowlers and everybody is plugging the runs and picking up wickets, that kind of gives a good momentum in the bowling department. And again, even though Gautam, who came down the order, scored those 15 runs, tried to resist and get the scoreboard ticking, but that was not enough in the end. And if Thunderbolts captain is listening, I think Gautam should be batting a little up the order based on what I have seen of him. And he's a good batsman. Again, it could have been a strategy in this game, but I would definitely like to see Gautam in the top 4 or 5. So hard luck Thunderbolts, but I think you have a good team. You definitely have good chances in the coming games. So.
Okay, the next game of the night is Canton 11 versus Punjab Warriors. Abhi.
Yeah, another high-scoring thriller game here. Punjab Warriors finally responding to their to the way they're supposed to be playing. Canton 11 is putting themselves to bat. Started strong with a couple of good partnerships again in the top. I think this game was played on Saturday, if I'm right, and they also did play well against the Sterling Strikers. So an excellent start. And again by their openers, Adarsh in this game scoring quick 34 and 24 balls with 3 sixes at 140 strike rate. Now, after Siddhant's loss, Rupinder and Hari stabilized the innings with 12 and 13 runs respectively. Kuldeep Singh coming into bat between 14th and 16th over, scoring 29 runs, remaining not out, has been the foundation for Canton 11's batting in the second half. And Mohammad-Abdul just played a blinder of an innings in the end, scoring 27 runs in the last over. 6-6-2, 6-6, and then the run out eventually. Canton's score jumps from 117 to 144 in the 25th over. What a strong finish to their batting. Well played, Mohammad. An excellent innings. It takes a strong player to play that kind of an innings in this format. Gurudeep, their captain, who was on the receiving side, took the severe thrashing, 50 runs in his 5-over spell, 27 of them coming in that the final over. He bowled at 25th over. Baldeep was the pick of the bowlers for Punjab Warriors, picking up 4 wickets, knocking their top order of Canton 11ers. But justice not done to him for the number of runs they conceded. Ranveer was economical in his 5-over spell as well. Now, Punjab Warriors had a huge task in hand to chase down that mammoth score, and they finally put on their Warriors capes on now. Started off steady, picked up the run rate in the middle, and went into the break with 51 for 3 in board. The batting score finally looks very similar to what we have seen in their first game. Many of their players scoring in the double digits. Ranveer, Baldeep, Prithpal, and then Manjinder all contributing with a good chunk to the team and scoring at a high run rate. Although they kept losing wickets, the game was still on for Punjab Warriors. They kept pushing their score until the last over and finally succumbed to the pressure. Simarpreet's 20 and Nirmal's 12 coming in that quick succession. But 144 was a bit too high for them. Canton 11ers, held their nerve and picked up wickets regularly, which helped them to win this game. Hari and Shivam 6 wickets among them. Hari cleaning up the top order, who was a bit expensive, and Shivam picking up that crucial wickets in the middle. An excellent high-scoring entertainer, almost 280 runs scored in this game within the 50 overs. Mohammad's 27 runs off 6 balls was the difference between the two games. 2 good wins for Canton 11ers team this weekend. Sad outing for Punjab Warriors, who played their hearts out.
Okay, the next game of the night is Dynamites versus UCA. Actually, I thought of going to this game. Dynamites captain Vijay offered, refreshments there. So I just want to check what kind of refreshment I'll get. So I thought of starting for this game. When I saw the scorecard, UCA started really well, and I thought it is going to be a long game in the night. So instead of going direct to the game, I went for a little shopping. It took probably an hour. When I again checked the score, and UCA was all out for 65, and then Dynamites lost almost 2 or 3 wickets, and I'm like, okay. If I go there and ask for refreshments, I'm sure Vijay will you might end up giving me something different. So I thought, I stopped myself going there. With that, I'll go to Imti, your thoughts.
So Jagan, were you going as a committee police patrol, or was it just as a pure audience that you wanted to go for the refreshment?
Whenever somebody offers a refreshment, I want to become audience.
Okay. Well, I think this was a good game. Like Jagan was mentioning again, clinical performance in Dynamites. I think that's why we have been praising Dynamites throughout the talk show, and this is a testament to their lineup this year. So, going into the game details, UCA batting first, I think had a very good start. Like Jagan was mentioning, their top 3 putting up some good scores, 24, by Srinivas, Tangwell, 14 runs, and then Satya Kumpal also 13 runs, double-digit scores. And if you look at the fall of the wickets also, if you look like uh, the first half was totally belonged to UCA. They scored 50 plus runs for the loss of 3 wickets, and they were looking good. But then comes the twist where like from 51 for 3, they collapse at 65. So just adding 14 runs and losing 7 wickets, that is just like mind blowing, to be honest. So with that such a strong start, I don't know what happened. Was it absolutely good bowling, or was it just that UCA batsmen went for shots and lost their wickets? I can only guess from here, but hopefully it was the other way where the Dynamites bowlers really put in the effort and got those wickets at regular intervals. Arun Selvaraj picking 3 wickets, Venkat picking 3 wickets, well supported by Prakash, Suresh, and the rest of the bowlers by picking regular wickets, I think, here. So 65 in the first half, I think definitely Dynamites fancied their chances, and I think they made a good chase of this. Unfortunately, they had a bad start, but I think their middle order kind of pulled this back, and Arun Swaminathan scoring 14 runs. Satish Sankara again going down the order in this game. Again, not sure what the reasoning was, but again, I think that ended up well for Dynamite. Satish Sankara scoring 15 not out, and Karthik also 17 not out. They made sure they made this chase and they completed winning for Dynamite. So all in all, it was a good outing. It could have gone either ways, but I think Dynamite's bowling lineup played a crucial part in this game, restricting UCA for 65. Because UCA, if we look at their previous games, they have a strong batting lineup and they have scored some good scores against some good bowling lineups, to be honest. So this was a little disappointing from UCA in the batting department, to be honest. So.
Okay. See, the next set of games are totally one-sided games. I have 3 for Abhi and 3 for you, Imti. This is the list for Abhi. MCC Miles versus Rising Stars, AR Phantoms versus MI Rangers, which we already discussed. So I'm taking out that one. Pokeries versus AR Phantoms, GLCC versus Rising Stars. These are the 3 games that Abhi, if you want to talk about key performances, these are all completely one-sided games. So
yeah, I just I'm going to just quickly brief up within these 3 games, considering the time factor that we have. Again. MCC Miles Rising Stars, an excellent start for MCC Miles, putting up a mammoth score. Brahma scoring a quick 50 at the top. Congratulations to him. And later on, well supported by Karthik, Sanjay, and Praneeth. Fani Aduri was also playing this game, a senior player of MCC Miles. He's also among the runs, so it's a good sight. Rising Stars considered way too many runs consistently from the beginning, and they didn't have much going on. They were on the expensive side. Prakash Patel, who just gave 18 runs in his 5-over spell, were the pick of their bowlers. MCC Miles just went on to kill this game in their bowling, not giving away too many runs to the Rising Stars. Praneeth leading their bowling, picking up 4 wickets in his 4-over spell, was very economical. And then Abhilash, even more effective in his 5-over spell with 3 wickets and just conceding 8 runs. So again, Rising Stars, again, they had too many runs. Bhavin scoring decent 22 at a good strike rate, but comes at a losing cause. MCC Miles finally getting a good, clean, and convincing win, and tough day for Rising Stars. And then going into the Pokeries and AR Phantoms, again, a result which we all expected. Pokeries just toyed around with Phantom bowlers in this game. Saran Raj finally finding his form and batting to his true potential, scoring 77 of 56 balls, 6 sixes and a boundary. Neelakantan, we all know what he did in his previous games, continuing his good form, getting another 50, 52 for 57 at 90 strike rates. Shows how well he was in control of his batting. These 2 batsmen put up a 100-run partnership, a rare sight that you see in DCL, which did happen often this last weekend. So many games played. Satish with his pick 26 pushed Pokeries to 214 score. Phantom's bowling unit took some beating in this game, except for the captain Rajesh Kuduru, who was the pick of the bowlers with respect to the economy. Phantoms had a huge score to chase and probably just went for it and fell for it. Nothing much they could do. The whole batting lineup collapsing, except for Sushil's fighting 15 in a losing cause again. Ravi Narala being pick of the bowlers with 3 wickets. The good economy rate, followed by Raghu and Jayant. Another convincing win for Pokeries. Another good game where they boost their run rate. Phantoms is just a tough ask in this game. GLCC Rising Stars, another game where GLCC scores another 200 plus runs. batting first, happening quite often this season now. Abhishek back into the squad after a break, fires a quick 41. Shoaib having an excellent day with the bat, 62 of 40 balls with 6 sixes. The scores of these two batsmen makes other batsmen look ordinary. Manish is 24, Hemant's 37, and then Sandeep's 19. Just like the other game, Rising Stars again had a bad day with the ball, with many of their bowlers ending up on the expensive side. Dhaval Patel picking up 3 wickets in his 4 over spell. Rising Stars again had a huge total to chase. Brijesh and Santosh fighting well in with their 19 and 12, but the rest of the batting unit just collapsed, probably just going for the runs and then not getting there. 3 wickets to Hemant, 2 wickets each to Ashraf, who seems to be growing younger by year. And then Sandeep and Samish as well picking 2. Good outing for GLCC, showing their batting prowess. Rising Stars had a tough weekend, 2 games conceding high runs and then falling short. So over to you, Jagan.
It's always difficult to play back-to-back games. And the next set of games for Imti: Raptors versus Dark Horses, FCC versus Indus Thunders, Brownstone versus Spartans. Brownstone versus Spartans. Oh yeah, and we already discussed about Blasters versus Kings 11. Okay, these are the 3 games: Raptors versus Dark Horses, FCC versus Indus Thunders, Brownstone versus Spartans. Imti.
Yes, Jagan. Thanks. So these 3 games again, like rightly grouped in one-sided. I think looking at the scorecards, these look like more of one-sided games. Going into the first game, Raptors versus Dark Horses. I think Raptors, they're just improving every game. They're just putting up the performance day in, day out. If you look at all the games that Raptors has played, they have posted scores in abundance of 100 plus in every game, and then that is a testament to their batting lineup. I think Amarendra Nuwala is having form of his life. He's just absolutely peak form in the season, and he's continuing his form even in this game. Scored 34 in the opening, and it was good to see Vikas Reddy coming and joining the lineup, opening the batting along with Amar, scoring 32 runs, well supported, and that I think that opening partnership just gave the license for Harsha to go and score those runs. 56, he got the 56 runs in coming one down, and I think once you have that kind of a start, it was just the other batsmen around him just going for the shots. And that definitely helped them score 175. Obviously, the extras not helping the cause for Dark Horses here. Mammoth score of 175. Again, a testament to Raptors batting lineup. I think they're just too good in the batting department this season. So everything clicking for them. If you look at Dark Horses bowling this game, not much to talk about. Almost every bowler close to 5-6 runs economy, and that doesn't speak well of their bowling lineup, to be honest. Chasing 175, I think Dark Horses never were in the game, to be honest, with the inexperience, and also the Raptors bowling lineup were very good, to be honest, and really not any momentum in their chase, except for Pankaj Vats reaching the double digits, not much support. They eventually ended up at 73, and that was a huge margin, losing the game by 100 plus runs. So tough luck to Dark Horses, but I think they were against a too good opponent, to be honest. And pick of the bowlers for Raptors was Sai Manoj, who picked up 5 wickets in his 5 overs. So, and again, it just like they used up 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bowlers just because they had the luxury in this game. Going on to the next game, FCC versus Indus Thunders. I think Indus Thunders, after the loss to Troy Hawks on Saturday, they had this game as a very crucial game, and I think they responded well. Playing against an opponent like FCC, who has a lot of experience in the lineup, I think Indus Thunders responded well, and they had their full lineup. At least the main players were back for this game, and I think they responded well. FCC batting first, I thought collapsed, to be honest, except for Mahendra Krishnappa scoring those 25 runs. Not much support from any other batsman, and I think. We have been talking about FCC batting, and I think it's similar to what the Blaster story is. I think they still need to find the rhythm in their batting and kind of have that consistency in the batting. So hopefully Venkat Vadnala comes up with the strategy and fixes things for them in a quick turnaround. So 62, they just managed 62 in their quota of 25 overs, and once you have 62 for chase, I think Indus Thunders definitely were favorites, and they did chase that down. Although they had a bad start, but I think Sandeep Gopu playing a captain's innings with 19 runs and well supported with Dinesh 18, and then Manoj staying in the end to see the chase. So 67 eventually chased down in 16 overs for the loss of 5 wickets. all in all, it was a much needed win for Indus Thunders after the back-to-back losses. And I think this will again bring back the confidence in the team. So good win for Indus Thunders and hard luck FCC in this game. Moving down to the next game, Brownstone versus Spartans. I think this was totally lopsided game. To be honest, this was experience versus inexperience, if I can put it that way. Brownstone, I think, is clicking well after the initial 4 losses. I think they have eventually found out the good combination and they're winning games. So that is good signs for Brownstone. Again, in this game, if you look at, you would again always look for Mansab's contribution. I think without his contribution, I think Brownstone showed some good confidence in the batting. Tuhin scoring 40 runs in the up the order, Syed Ahmed well supported 23. Then again in the middle order, Shahrukh coming and playing 40, scoring 40 runs, quick 40 runs. Well supported by Mansab, who did not take the limelight in the batting this time, but I think Brownstone still ended up scoring 159. And I think this was again because of the lack of experience in the Spartans bowling lineup, to be honest. So 159 Brownstone, if you give 160 score, they will easily defend it, and that's what happened. Spartans, even though they do have that the spark in the team, but I think the 160 was a little too much for them to chase down. Even though Nadeem, their captain, gave a good start, scoring 20 runs and well supported by Chanakya, their other premium batsman, 38 runs in the middle order. But I think the score was just too big for chasing, and the scoreboard pressure obviously getting back to them. Mansab did not have a good batting outing, but I think he came back well in the bowling, picking up 2 crucial wickets in the middle and well supported by other bowlers. So all in all, it was a good game. Brownstone coming back to their to what we know. I think they definitely are fancying their chances for playoffs still, even though they lost the first 4 games. So good game and good win for Brownstone.
Yeah, I agree. Brownstone is back. They can keep on winning like this. And with that, we have completed all the games, and we'll quickly get into predictions. Okay, I'll start with the game. First game, Legends versus Spartans. It is a rescheduled game happening on Friday night, Novi. If anybody wants to go and watch this game, it's under lights in Novi and Power Park. Legends versus Spartans. Abhi.
Yeah, this is going to be Legends. Legends will be winning this game.
Imti.
Yep, Legends for me, sure.
Okay. The next game is Pokeries versus GLCC. And, this is the weekend for GLCC where they have to prove whether they belong to top notch or not. Okay. Abhi.
It's a very tough pick because this is 2 of the best teams in the league who are the favorites this season. I would interestingly pick Pokeries because GLCC have been scoring very well, but having seen that MCC Miles game where they actually crumbled, I probably will give a slight advantage to Pokeries, who might do well better than GLCC. So Pokeries for me.
Imti.
Well, I think I'm not predicting this game as I will be umpiring this game, but I just wanted to have a few comments.
Yeah, sure.
So, like you said, GLCC has good back-to-back games this weekend. One against Pokeries and the next one against Gladiators, if I'm correct. So again, GLCC is definitely a top team. They have showed us that in the previous weeks. So winning these 2 games will just only make their confidence go high, I would think. So that's the comment I wanted to make against GLCC. So okay. No prediction for this game. Sorry. Yeah.
The next game of the night is Canton 11 versus MCC Miles. Avi.
Canton 11ers, they had a fabulous weekend last weekend. 2, I think 130 plus scores. I'll give it to them. MCC Miles also had a very good day with against Rising Stars, but I believe the Canton 11ers going with their momentum might win this game.
Imti.
Yeah, definitely Canton 11 for me. Just the momentum is in favor of Canton 11. MCC Miles really struggling, to be honest, this season.
Gladiators versus MI Rangers. Can I say 2-0 Gladiators?
Yeah.
Okay. The next one is Legends versus FCC Agni. I think Legends 2-0.
Yes, Legends 2-0.
Yep.
The next one is Brownstone versus Hitman. What do you guys say?
Yeah, actually, this is an interesting game. I mean, Hitman have come back very well in their last 2 games. Arun also did play a very serious role there, but I think Brownstone are a bit too good for Hitman. Brownstone, they need this win if they actually want to go up, climb up. So I'll give it to Brownstone.
Imti.
Yeah, Brownstone for me too. Like I said, Brownstone will consider each and every game as playoffs going forward because they have to win all the games almost to make sure that they go to the playoffs. So Brownstone, unless otherwise if they don't have the availability, but Brownstone for me.
Bulls versus Kings 11. I think it's Kings 11 2-0. I mean,
Yeah, for me it's Kings 11. I would pick Kings 11 for this game.
Kings 11 playing, I think they can take it easily.
I would say Detroit Bulls. Just for the fact that I think Detroit Bulls will play this game as a do or die game because of their situation, and I think they'll come all guns blazing in this game. So Detroit Bulls.
Okay, it's a 1-1. Okay, let's see next week what happens. SSK versus Indus Thunders. I think even though SSK is playing really well, if Indus Thunders has good team, and I'm sure they can beat SSK. So I cannot go to Abhi.
Yeah,
Imti.
just Imti.
Yeah, but again, I think Indus Thunders will win the game. But just a pointer for SSK is that again, no offense to Indus Thunders or Abhi, do not take my comment in a wrong way. But we have seen in the past that Indus Thunders is beatable. So if SSK can take some lesson from the previous games, I think just play the right group of people, and I think they actually have a realistic chance of beating the Thunders if they perform well. But I think Indus Thunders has the experience to beat SSK. So Indus Thunders.
It all depends on Indus Thunders old versus Indus Thunders young. Okay, if they bring a young.
Yeah, again, that's why I said like it all depends on the availability for Indus Thunders also. So again, if you have a chance, sneak it in SSK. If you win this game, I think that will make a big confidence boost for you guys. So.
Oh boy, next game is I mean I want to hear it from you guys. Dynamites versus Patriots. Who's going to win this game? Abhi.
It's a tough pick. Both teams are actually doing well, and Patriots actually did find their momentum back, I believe. But I will give it to Patriots because we've seen them how well they bowl, and their premium bowler Narendra Rane. If he can bowl the way he bowled against Indus Thunders, he'll clean up the Dynamites batting. But yeah, Patriots for me.
Patriots. Imti.
This is a tough pick, to be honest, because looking at just the momentum, I think both the teams are in good momentum from their previous games. If we just look at team to team, I think Patriots has a lot of talent, but Dynamites has the more experience. So it's actually a tough pick, but I'll just go with Patriots, I think, for this game.
Okay, Patriots 2-0. The next one is FCC versus Raptors. FCC has become a one-man show. If Tejas plays out well, they have a chance to win. Otherwise, there's absolutely no chances. What I'm guessing. With that, I'll go to Abhi.
I actually two interesting things. I mean, if KRCC were had that weak middle order, which they will definitely fix it. Raptors are yet to put to be
Abhi,
yet to face a good bowling.
I think it's FCC. Did you say KRCC?
I heard
no,
it.
I'm just comparing the fact that KRCC haven't lost a game yet, but they have lost last weekend, and Raptors I think haven't lost a game yet, right? So Raptors, I will pick FCC for two reasons. One, FCC are a strong bowling unit. They are not getting their batting right, but they are a strong bowling unit, and I feel that they have that experience to stop Raptors. Secondly, Raptors have been conceding too many runs, leaving the last game out. So can FCC do it? I believe they can, but FCC have to come back very very strong in their batting. Otherwise, they have no chance in this game. So, but I'll pick FCC for this one.
Okay.
Interestingly, I think I will also pick FCC for the fact that Raptors, even though they have been scoring heavily, like Abhi mentioned, they are also conceding heavily. So I think this will be a good chance for FCC to get some batting inspiration or batting confidence back. That being said, again, FCC has a loads of experience in their lineup, so hopefully that will come into play here. So, and Raptors, I think with Pradeep Botta being injured, he's not available for this game, so I think that will also play a crucial part. So FCC for me.
Oh, okay. FCC all the way then. Okay, the next game of the night is Dark Horses versus Troy Hawks.
Interesting pick actually, because Dark Horses have played very well in one of their games in the last weekend, and Troy Hawks. I don't know. I don't want to give up too many things, but I did see some flaws in their batting, or in their not only batting, in their team. But I'll give it to Dark Horses. If Pankaj Watts and team can come back very strong, this is the team. This is the team to beat. It's going to be tough. Troy Hawks are on a roll, but Dark Horses, if you want to get back into this league, this is the team to beat.
What do you say, MT?
I will go with Troy Hawks. Hopefully, they have their availability and they are playing back to back this week. So, if Troy Hawks has their full lineup, I think I don't see any reason why they cannot win against Dark Horses. Even though Dark Horses has come up with some promising performances, they're not able to cross the line. So, they need that win to get that momentum or confidence back. But just based on the current situation, I will go with Troy Hawks.
Okay, Patriots versus Troy Hawks. And actually, I thought of inviting either Hemant or Sai thought of for the show tonight. Okay, and I texted. Sai thought just responded. We are almost at the end of our show, and Hemant is busy, so both could not join. So your pick: Patriots versus Troy Hawks. Abhi.
I have the same thoughts going to my head. Why I picked Dark Horses. So I believe Patriots are much stronger bowling unit compared to Dark Horses. So I believe I might be wrong against Dark Horses and Troy Hawks, but this could be the right one. Patriots will beat Troy Hawks.
So this is again another back-to-back game for Patriots playing Saturday and Sunday. So this will be their second game. Hopefully, again, like I said, availability-wise, I hope they pick the right lineup. If they have the right lineup, I think they have the team to beat Troy Hawks. So again, this will be a very good, interesting game. I would hope this will be a close contest, and we get to talk about this game next week for a good analysis. But from a prediction point of view, I think I'll go with Troy Hawks on this game actually.
Versus Detroit Bulls.
I think Bulls might win this game. Jagan. I'll side with Bulls on this one.
MT.
Yeah, if Detroit Bulls can win the Saturday game, I think that will boost their confidence and go into this game, and they will win this one. Detroit Bulls.
Okay, the next game is GLCC versus Gladiators. Abhi.
It's a very, very tough pick. GLCC Pokeries and GLCC Gladiators. I think we should have no plan for weekend and watch these games. Glads came back very well in their batting unit. GLCC is strong too. I think I'll give it to Glads. I'm going against GLCC for both the games, but yeah, I'll side with Glads.
Okay, MT.
I'll go with GLCC in this game, just for the fact that GLCC is like really good on confidence, and they have really less things to worry about. Whereas Gladiators, they just clicked with their batting in the recent games. So I think if that comes back into play, I think GLCC will run all over Gladiators here. GLCC.
That's a good point.
It's a 1-1 tie. Okay, the next one is AR Phantoms versus Rising Stars. I'm thinking AR Phantoms. What do you guys say?
Yeah, by the way, Phantoms scored in one of the games over the weekend. They scored 90 plus, and Rising Stars, sadly, they were on a lower note. They conceded too many runs, so I think Phantoms have the advantage to win this.
MT.
I will go with Rising Stars. Just based on my experience, I have seen Rising Stars. So they have some good players in their lineup. I haven't seen any from AR Phantoms, so I'm just going with what I have knowledge with. So Rising Stars.
Okay, 1-1 tie there. And the last game of the night is Strikers versus Blasters. I cannot ask MT, so Abhi.
Strikers, surprisingly, they haven't been, that strong of a team that usually they are. Kapil, Parthiv, and then a few other players there. But Blasters, they found their momentum with their recent win, with scoring 123 or 125 plus runs. So I'll give it to Blasters on this one. They're a stronger bowling unit.
Strikers have been out. So, Imti,
Oh, Vinod, yeah, Vinod's there, right? Yeah.
I cannot ask Imti here. So, with that, we will conclude tonight's show with the last word from the both analysts. I'll start with Abhi.
It's been a very long show. A big thank you to all the listeners again for staying up late, taking out time to listen to our analysis. And one point is, if anyone has any suggestions, comments, or any way that anything that you want to actually put out to me or Inti or any other KK as well, feel free to pass it on to either Jagan or us. It's been a long show. Like I said, a lot of talking from our side. Frankly, I'm really hungry now. Another set of games coming up. Most of teams who played 2 games last week will need to reset again and then start fresh. And again, few of the teams again playing 2 more. Every win matters from this point onwards for most of the teams. And weather looks good, hot for the weekend, at least for the Saturday. So stay hydrated, stay safe. Good luck to all the teams. Thank you, Imti and Jagan, and good night to everyone.
Thank you, Abhi. Imti.
Yeah, again, big thanks to all our listeners. You guys are the reason that we keep going on. And sorry for the longer show today. We had a lot of games to cover, but again, it's all good games that we wanted to cover. And if last weekend was busy, I think the next weekend also will be busy with some rescheduled games coming to the picture. So again, a good weekend for the cricket lovers here within DCL. Good luck to all the teams, and I would say again, like the topic that we discussed in the beginning, umpires. So hopefully we won't have any incidents, and hopefully all the umpires will be respected. So good luck to all the teams, and hopefully we'll talk much more in the next week about these games.
Thank you, Abhi. Even though we had 1.5 hour show, we had a total of 316 listeners for the show tonight. Okay, thank you all. With that, I'll say good night.
Good night.